Let's do this Google Pixel one first. I'm not probably watching the whole thing. I don't care that much. But I might buy this. Will I buy this? Probably not. What's the best Android phone right now? It's probably, I feel like Pixel's the best now. Maybe Samsung, but Samsung kind of annoying to use.
And said this same line before about like the Pixel 6, but Google's phones have always been
in
all
terms
about
of
software,
what?
and we just want them to get their hardware over the hump to have a complete
I hate my Pixel 8. Why?
competitive phone. But
I don't like Samsung's UI, and I don't like their bloatware.
9 event today, and there's actually a bit more than just the Pixel shown off. There's also a new watch and new Pixel buds, and I'll get to those, but I just want to focus this video on the new phones because I've been waiting for these for a while. So there's several
I haven't used Samsung in a long time. Last time I used it, it came with a bunch of apps I couldn't uninstall.
phones. There's the Pixel 9, Pixel 9 Pro, then the Pixel 9 Pro XL, and then a Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Now, some people are saying the names are a bit confusing. Honestly,
that phone looked kind of tight.
Names are a bit confusing. Honestly, it's not really that bad, except maybe the
one do I have
Fold,
right now? And a OnePlus 8 or something. It's pretty good though.
And with that, you get the 6.3-inch screen size, and it has this new design with the flat matte metal sides and a polished glass back.
I'm a OnePlus 10?
Porcelain is white, obsidian is black, and then wintergreen and peony. Kind of Cosmo and Wanda vibes. And then there's the two Pro phones. So the Pixel 9 Pro.
OnePlus 10 Pro 5G. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. I don't mind this phone. The only thing is the display's sort of cracked at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it.
And Pro XL. So what's sick is the 9 Pro, it's the exact same size as the Pixel 9, just like what the iPhone's been doing. And the only thing that's different about the XL is it's just bigger. Just a bigger 6.8-inch screen and a bigger battery. But yeah, the Pro
I think I
phones
walked
start at
into something with the phone hanging out of my pocket a bit. I can't remember.
And with that, you'll get an extra third camera, telephoto camera. They have more RAM, and they switch to glossy rails with a soft touch glass back. Again, in 4 colors.
I think it looks pretty good.
Porcelain, hazel, which looks nice, and rose quartz, kind of a more faded pink. So I got to handle these phones for like 2 hours. And the entire time, right from the beginning, I was like, oh, wow, yes. Okay, Google's done it. These phones really feel and look like actual flagships. And it's not just because the trend these days is to do flat sides. Like, obviously I've talked about how I like that, but that's not the only thing. They feel a little bit heavier in the hand now.
The camera's standing out. The thing is, most people are going to put a case on their phone anyway, right? Chat, vote yay, vote nay. Do you have a case on your phone? I think nowadays, most people have cases on their phones. And most cases then are designed to sort of fill up that gap. So it sort of looks okay with a case on, but it does look goofy without a case.
Feel the screens are all much brighter. So the Pixel 9's Actua display is 35% brighter than the Pixel 8, and there's thinner bezels all the way around. And yes, finally, it's an ultrasonic fingerprint reader under the display, not optical. And the camera visor around the back.
What does that mean?
This is polarizing, but the huge lens opening, I think it just looks promising. Now, of course, I'm gonna have to test all these things for the full review and really see what they're made of, so get subscribed to see that. But my first impression, at least, is that, you know, these photos are gonna end up very Pixel-like, very punchy and contrasty. And
doesn't Pixel do the best cameras right now of Android?
Bigger sensors than before, so potentially more shallow depth of field. But I guess aesthetically,
doesn't the phone come with a case?
Even though I like the
they might actually. I think they probably do come with a case.
I know it's not
phones usually do these days.
All the way around like before, and I miss that. But it's now this like perfectly flat island.
Flagships usually come with cases. I got a case with the last phone I bought.
That is still distinctive. It's pretty unique as like a Pixel thing. So now specs. Let's just get them all in
maybe
one
it's a
place.
OnePlus thing
That's
then.
all the specs that I've been able to confirm.
Nobody buys a phone for the camera. This has to be the most dog shit take I've seen in the last year. Are you kidding me? Every single influencer and content creator buys a phone for the camera, and guess what? That's fucking all of them nowadays. So many people buy phones to take 1 million pictures with them.
All these phones, across the board, all the new Pixels have the same Tensor G4 chip, so that's the new chip is more powerful, they're saying, and more efficient, and should have dramatically better AI capabilities. Obviously, it's a Pixel, but we'll get there. But also notice it's the exact same.
I'm not saying everyone buys a phone for the camera, but that guy made the claim that no one does, which is insane.
Primary camera and ultra-wide camera between the base phone and the Pro phone. So again, I've talked about this with Pixel before, and it's, you know, it makes the lowest
Every
price phone
phone's
look like a
camera's
great
good enough.
deal,
It
but
doesn't matter.
There's not a lot of hardware difference
Okay.
between the base phone and the Pro phone, and it's a $200.
So your needs
difference
just applies
this
to the rest of the
year.
population,
For that,
I guess.
in a Pro phone, what do you get? Maybe a slightly better screen, a telephoto camera, more RAM.
I mean, it's not you're not totally wrong with that. If you buy an iPhone, a Samsung, or a Pixel, the camera's going to be good on all of them. It really does not matter that much. I mean, you are correct with that. But it's like, well, if you are buying a new phone and you know you're going to take a lot of photos with them, you may as well try to get the one that has the best. But the thing is, nowadays, with all these flagships, the cameras are so comparable, it mostly comes down to taste.
And better.
They're not
selfie
better or
camera.
worse, they're just different.
That's kind of it. Now, again, I don't want to make the mistake of judging it too soon because I haven't benchmarked it and I don't know what long-term performance is like, but when Google says Tensor is 20% faster with web browsing and 17% faster with app launching, I believe them. I mean, these phones are really quick and snappy, at least from my impression. And I just want to say again that I'm really glad they made the smaller phone with all of the benefits of the Pro, because there are a lot of people who want a better phone.
Hey, Shawboy, thanks for the 40 months.
So having a Pro that's not a Pro Max is sick. But of course, these would not be Pixel phones without a boatload of AI. And so there are definitely some new AI features coming along with these Pixel 9s. The big ones are the new Weather app, the new Screenshots app, and Pixel Studio. So the Google Weather app has been redesigned for the Pixel 9s, as you can see, which is a bunch of tiles now and this very, you know, modern looking version of the weather. And right at the top is an AI-generated comment about the weather, maybe sometimes telling you what to wear or something. Cool, I guess. I almost never use the stock weather app on any phone, and that probably won't change here, but for those who do, all right, fine. That's a good improvement. The new Screenshots app is...
What to wear is actually something I would love to have a proper... I hate trying to... It's like, oh, it's 15 Celsius outside and a light breeze. What do you put on? It's 17 degrees? I don't know. Am I not making sense here? I find it hard sometimes to look at the weather report and know how thick to dress myself. Usually what I do is I go, if I'm in a city, I just look out the window and see what other people are wearing. What? If I could somehow get an app that perfectly learned what I prefer, that'd be awesome. You're an adult. Surely by now you know how much you need to wear. No, I struggle. Sometimes I'm like, should I bring a light jacket on top of this hoodie, or is the hoodie going to be enough? Because I don't want to have to carry the jacket. Or is today a shorts day, a pants day, or a type of day?
Is interesting. Again, I don't think many people are going to use this, but if you do...
You're all flexing on me or calling me a kid. I bet most of you guys just dress incorrectly. You guys probably don't even take a moment to think about it.
It's basically a new app that gathers all of your screenshots specifically in one place. And then it scans each one of them for any information in them to be able to remind you later or help you search through later. But then there's the Pixel Studio app, which I guess that's the hot new thing in devices with AI, is to have an app called Studio that just lets you create AI-generated art on device with a simple text prompt. Apple's just announced that in iOS 18, but they're not shipping that yet. But the one thing I was impressed with playing with this one...
does anyone know, is this shit running locally on the phone? Otherwise, this is completely pointless. I don't know why this is even a selling point. You can just do this shit online. All you need is a browser. You don't need an app to generate images. He says that? Okay, because if it does it locally on the phone, then it's pretty cool. You could do it offline. Could you do nudes? Probably not. In theory, though.
But they're not shipping that yet. But the one thing I was impressed with playing with this one is it's really quick, like maybe 3 seconds or so to generate a new image, and it's completely on device, so it'll still be this fast when your internet connection sucks or you're offline or something like that. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe your generated pictures or memes for text conversations or for Twitter or something like that. But yeah, it's another AI app on the phone. Also, Magic
doesn't even do text properly, so it's already like worse than Flux.
Editor in Photos has this new reimagine feature where you can not only erase things or reframe things in your pictures, but you can now highlight a section and reimagine it as something. And it can be whatever you type, just something completely different. So I guess you can straight up make up new scenes and pictures now that totally didn't happen. Kind of like Samsung's sketch to image.
Wow.
What is going on? What is a picture? But maybe the best what is a photo feature is this new one in the camera, again, built right in, called Add Me. And it's actually I think pretty impressive. I played it, I got to use it once, and you're about to see exactly me using it once. But basically, if you ever have a group of people and you want to take a group shot, but you don't have anyone else who could take the group shot for you, okay, no problem. The Add Me feature walks you through this. So, okay, first you open the camera mode and it tells you to...
No way! No, this defeats the purpose of a group photo.
Kind of wiggle the camera around a little bit so it can get a better sense of 3D space and the environment.
You could do some dank photos with this, though, if you do like a million people.
Everyone except for them, and leaves a little room for themselves. Then once they take that, they can have everybody peace out, and then one of those other people becomes the new photographer and tells the first person where to pose.
Wait, this could be fun if you do it with just yourself, just a million clones.
Can sort of be next to everyone else. It overlays where the people were and a nice white box over the scene to help keep
Aha! I could make myself look taller with this.
The framing the same. Once the second person poses, they snap the picture, and Google straight up merges the pictures together into a group photo with everyone. Another moment that totally never happened. Plus it keeps the originals, too.
Great.
Very 2024. What is a photo? There's some other things like better clear calling, call notes, can summarize phone calls that you're on for you. Gemini Live, which is like having literal conversations with the assistant called Gemini. It's still confusing. But generally, I was most excited about the hardware.
Are the smart assistants good yet?
And then there's the folding phone. So this is the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I don't know why it's called that. I don't know why it's not just called the Pixel Fold 2. Maybe it's easier to remember because now they're all 9s, but whatever. They added Pro to the name for some reason.
The assistants are still dog shit. I'm really surprised no one's rolled out an LLM to it yet. Like Google Home or Alexa. Why are they still stupid? Why are they still talking like they're 5 years? It's 2019.
It's a Fold. And the point is it's dramatically improved from the Pixel Fold that came last year. And it's the same price.
Yeah, I can't set timers and alarms.
So, look, Google cooked with this thing. I think the last
Wasn't
Fold,
that the point
I was
of like
constantly calling the best
rabbits.
foldable to use closed, which is kind of a half compliment, but it's true. This new one has an even bigger screen. It's 6.3 inches. So right now it's about the size of the other base Pixel 9, and it's still reachable because the bezels are all pretty thin. The whole phone is thin all the way around, and it's also much brighter. It's 80% brighter than the last Fold. And then on the inside, it's also a larger 8-inch display that, like I said, it mirrors the home screen layout of the cover display. And the whole phone with the metal rails now and the soft touch matte glass.
Yeah, this is a sick device to have if you like have a lot of commuting or something in your life. I don't know, like just an iPad that you carry around. Maybe just get an iPad then, but you can't put an iPad in your pocket.
All feels even more premium, like of a flagship than ever before. And look at how thin this thing is. This has got to be, I mean, it's definitely one of the thinnest foldables out now.
Hear me out, man. Twitch chat on one half, stream on the other half, folded. Porn on one half, looking for the next porn on the other half.
Maybe not the thinnest, but each side is barely thicker than a USB-C port. And so combined with the flat sides, it's barely thicker than a normal phone. Now, of course, it still has this camera bump on the back, which is, okay, this one's worse. I don't see a lot of thoughtful design in this camera island, but I feel like I can accept it with the rest of this phone's design being so impressive. 2
TikTok feeds at the same time?
Good. It feels great to use open. It's awesome closed. I feel like this is just a better version of the previous best foldable, the OnePlus Open. Of course, still TBD on battery life and camera quality with these new cameras that are different from the main Pixel 9s, but you know, my general first impression
looks
is
really
pretty
clean.
Positive. It also, of course, has the Tensor G4, 16 gigs of RAM, and all the AI benefits that come from these new Pixels, Pixel Studio, Screenshot app, Weather app, all that other Pixel stuff. It is also IPX8 rated, so it can probably take a splash.
I feel like it's one of those things. A lot of people say like, why? What's the point? What do you need this for? But to me, it feels a bit like saying, you know, what's the point of having 2 screens for your computer? And then you try it for the first time, and it's like you've been standing all your life, and now you're sitting. I don't think the impact is as big on a phone, though. I'm not making a one-to-one comparison. But I'm saying maybe it's a bit like that. I say this as someone who's never used a foldable. I'm saying I don't feel the need to have one, but maybe if I did have one, I would be like, oh yeah, that's the stuff. Not if it costs 18. Obviously, price is a big issue. I'm sure that will come down in price eventually. But phones are also getting more expensive. I mean, a lot of flagship phones with just one screen are what, $1,200 these days? So it's not even that big of a difference.
Also mentioned that they're partnering with some number of developers to optimize some games for the interior screen. So looking forward to see what those end up being. And it also comes in 2 colors, porcelain, white, and obsidian, black. So I think consider me highly interested. I've kind of been off the foldables train for my own daily driver for a while. I've gone back to dailying slab phones, but I think this Pixel 9 Pro Fold has a chance to get me back to being a foldable user if that outer screen remains just as usable as any other phone. And the bonus is a gigantic 8-inch screen whenever I want it. It's one of the biggest displays literally ever in a phone. So these phones feel, for now, like they've actually achieved the modernized glow up that we've been looking for. The line
between tablet and phone is blurring out.
Phone. Maybe Qi 2 is the only thing missing that I'm actually bummed about that I can see on the spec sheet. But
yeah, the dimensions are fucked. I don't know why it's square.
Promised, it's not just the phones. There's also a
I know why it's square.
Other gadgets.
Just two
so the new
rectangles.
Pixel Watch 3 has basically the same design, but now comes in 2 sizes. There's a new larger 45mm size that gets you like 40% more screen, and the bezel is also a little bit smaller. So these screens are also a lot brighter, 2000 nits. And there's a new body score feature, which seems like everyone suddenly decided to copy from Garmin this year, but that will sort of summarize all of your metrics into one score at the top. And there's also some new running features as well. Potentially the biggest change is the new dual chip architecture to give you even longer battery life. They're saying up to 36 hours in battery saver, which isn't exactly pushing the industry limit, but it should be better than last year. And same price, $349 for the small one, $399 for the big one. And then there's the new Pixel Buds. So the Pixel Buds Pro 2, which at this point are kind of like Gemini buds. So they updated the design to be a bit smaller, as you can see. Just these little bud things with no stalks.
Hello,
a tiny stabilizer fin to keep it in your ear, hopefully. Sometimes it doesn't work with my ears, but I'll try. And then there's a new custom designed A1 chip based on Tensor that improves active noise cancellation, improves overall sound quality, and also lets you have a back and forth conversation with Gemini Live. Just a straight up, out loud, back and forth convo with an assistant. I will definitely be getting my hands on these to test, but definitely let me know what you're most interested in.
I heard Google had some presentation that was a fail.
Full reviews of these things. I'm planning on getting my hands on as many as possible, get subscribed to see this stuff, but is it the AI features, or is it the new camera stuff? Is it the new hardware, which I think looks pretty sick? Let me know in the comment section below.
I mean, they look like really solid phones, but it's like, you know, the age of getting excited for a new lineup of phones is long past. It's just the same phone as last year, except slightly more megapixels and slightly longer battery life or bigger screen or faster CPU. There's a best of internet daily dotes. There's the new unusual memes. This thing looks insane.